2017 when I first started into this industry. And now I recap a lot of things thanks to Ruben. Give him an applause, please. Thank you. Okay, introduction to myself. My name is Ben Chan from Singapore, part of UKISS Technology that I co-founded with James back in 2021. That was 3 years ago. Okay, a bit of sharing on how I started down this road. I think many years ago I was like one of you sitting somewhere in a seminar room talking, listening to people talking about crypto. But way back in 2012, that was 12 years ago, right? I first heard of Bitcoin, but only just heard other people talk about it. Never really go and investigate into it. And there was this company from Malaysia, it's a kind of a money game company. They came down to Singapore, and through one of my friends talked to me, asked me to invest and all that. Then I was thinking, oh, money game. So they use Bitcoin as well, so I kind of associate this with money game, so I pass it out. So I think this is scam coin and all those things, right? But I never really invest much time into learning about it. Then back in, then fast forward to 2014, 2015, I was in China. I have a mobile platform, development platform there. Because James and I, we were classmates from NUS computer science. So I've been in the IT industry all along. I used to be a developer, then trainer. I worked for HP, do some projects for GIC in Singapore, and a lot of banks and all that. So as a developer, if I look at technology like Bitcoin and blockchain, and I don't understand the basic of it, I cannot accept it. I'm not sure about you, but it's just that if I don't understand, I'm not convinced of the technology, I think this is just a scam or something, right? So back in 2014, 2015, we were doing a mobile platform in China, and one of the friends, they came, and this guy again is a money game guy. And last time in China, and even in Malaysia, money game, they use fiat currency, right? And now, at that time, they don't use fiat currency because the control, right? The government control the bank account, the transfer, and very hard. So they turn to Bitcoin. And they use Bitcoin to do all their transactions. So again, I associate Bitcoin with that kind of scams, right? So, and I actually tried to buy some Bitcoin at that time. Back in 2014, 15, I think the Bitcoin was about $200 US coin. Right, so I tried to buy, but it was very difficult. You have to transfer money blindly to bank account to this guy and hope that he gives you the Bitcoin. So what? How can I trust this, right? You run away with money, then how? So I didn't do it. Then of course, 2017, all hell break loose, right? Bitcoin hit 20,000 and for 220,000. So I was like, what is happening? So I started really looking into this Bitcoin, especially that time there was this technology called blockchain. Before that, it was not blockchain, it was just Bitcoin, right? So I spent a couple of months learning about how to develop Bitcoin, how it works, the programming guide and all that. And after that, I was totally convinced, and I switched my whole company into blockchain Bitcoin in 2017, and that has been there full time until today, right? So one of the reasons I was convinced about blockchain was the decentralization. Just now, a very good question you asked about decentralization. Why should we need decentralization, right? So to me, it's about privacy and control. Today, like a bit of the question that a lot of you were asking just now, why do we need Bitcoin, right? So I'll give you some background on US dollars. I think all of you know. US dollar used to be called gold-backed dollars, right? It was pegged to gold. I think $1 was 32 ounces of gold, something like that. Back in the 70s, right? And everybody used US dollar because it was pegged to gold, right? So yeah, you can just peg to US dollar, and that's it. Very easy for us to do transaction, international trade, right? But then in 1972, Nixon removed the gold pegging, right? And became fiat currency. So now you know why the fiat currency came from the word. Fiat means there's nothing behind it, right? Behind US dollar used to be gold, now it's emptiness. So backed by what? Backed by US military might and their reputation. And of course, US destroyed that when they sanctioned against Russia, right? And they used SWIFT and US dollar as a weapon, they weaponized it. And now everybody's trying to get away from US dollar, right? The BRICS nation and all that. And recently, mBridge, right? mBridge was launched, and Saudi Arabia joined mBridge because that is bypassing the SWIFT system altogether. Right? So that is what happened to US dollar. So since then, the US dollar was like really, you can print as much as you want. And there was a statistics that I read during the COVID, 2021 COVID, right? Donald Trump printed a lot of money. And at the end of the day, they said that in the last 200 years history of US dollar, total US dollar existed at that time, 40% was printed within a 1 year period during the COVID. 40% of the US dollar, entire dollar money printed in 1 year. So can you imagine how much it deflated? Inflation, that means your value literally halved in 1 year. You understand? If you hold US dollar, it literally half gone. So inflation is a tax, invisible tax on your money. You may not feel it, but then find out, how come my money can buy less, half of what it used to buy? So that's why a lot of people is trying to hedge their risk. So I want to buy gold, I want to buy property. That's why when during inflation, all the asset prices goes up, right? Gold went up, gold hit new high now, and property shoot through the roof and so on, because people don't believe in fiat currency. Now there's a theory behind that saying that all fiat currency in the whole world, in the history of mankind, from Roman Empire until today, every major power collapsed because of inflation, ultimately. Like Roman Empire collapsed because their money cannot pay for the soldiers anymore. Right? They keep inflation away because the gold coin, the bronze coin, then they cut it in it and then they mix other metals inside there. In the end, the soldiers don't want their coin, they want food. If you don't give me food, I don't fight for you. And so the whole Roman Empire collapsed, imploded. And same thing is happening now to US dollar. Same thing. Every empire cannot escape this destiny. Right? No empire exists more than a few hundred years, and they ultimately implode because of this problem. Because they can inflate. I can print, why not? US did not do anything, they just print money and buy everything they want from the world, right? So that's why US has the best life for the last 50 years, because I don't need to do any work, I just print money and buy whatever I want. It doesn't going to last forever, right? So that's what fiat currency has a point, and that is why 2008 Satoshi Nakamoto came out with this Bitcoin paper. They said that they shouldn't be allowed to do that. All the money will earn so hardcore and literally halve it every few years, right? So it came out with Bitcoin and said that okay, Bitcoin it should be fixed, 21 million. That's it. Nobody has the power to print more of it, and it's written in code and it's distributed over thousands and thousands of servers distributed worldwide. Okay. And another interesting fact, for the history of computer science, for those who know computer science, right, every single system in the world, even the Department of Defense, has been hacked. Right? The DoD department was hacked, not hacked. They attempted hacking is like hundreds of thousands of attempts every week. Okay. And no computer system is foolproof, right? Even DoD got hacked all the time. Do you know one system that was not hacked ever in the whole history? That's called Bitcoin. For the last 15 years of Bitcoin's network, I'm talking about the Bitcoin network itself, it has not been successfully hacked, not even once. Why is it so? Is it very strong firewall? No, right? It's because it's totally decentralized. And hacker cannot hack a decentralized system easily. I can hack the DoD because even no matter how strong your firewall is, there's always a loophole. Okay, external or internal. If I can do external, I go internal. I know someone inside there, I pay him money and give me a loophole, right? So I can do that. But you can do that. The Bitcoin is automated. It's written in computer code. You cannot bribe anyone. And in order to hack Bitcoin, you have to hack 51% of all the servers at the same time. And that's an impossible task, because that will cost you hundreds of millions of dollars. And why should you spend hundreds of millions of dollars to hack something? At the end, you don't gain anything. Because if you hack Bitcoin collapse, the money you spend is so wasted, right? So nobody is crazy enough to do that. Right? So Bitcoin has not been hacked for the last 50 years, not even once. Of course, centralized systems get hacked all the time. FTX. Right? FTX in 2022 imploded because it was hacked. Not hacked because of corruption. Right? So it was the third largest centralized exchange in the world at that time, FTX. Singapore Temasek Holding invested $200 million in it, and it just gone like that overnight. Right? So this is just a bit of fun facts and why I got into this space. So let's move on. Okay, so we have talked about what is blockchain and why we need blockchain and why is Bitcoin called digital gold. Okay, and the thing is, now you want some crypto, you want to invest some of the money in blockchain or Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of this stuff, right? Then you need to learn a whole new thing called private key, right? Why is it Bitcoin is decentralized? Because today, if I put my money, all our money are in the bank, right? Do you own the money in the bank? You own the account, do you own it? Anyone say yes? Anyone say no? Actually, you don't own it, right? Who owns it? The bank. Right? You don't own the money, it's just an account for you. Because the bank can freeze it anytime, right? Government can freeze it anytime with whatever reason they come up with. During wartime, people will say, I have gold bar, right? Because nobody can take it from you. But during wartime, you know what's the first thing they do to you, government? You know, in the 30s, 1930s, US government declared that owning gold personally is a crime. Do you know that? You know, right? Because that time they need gold, so they confiscate all the gold from the people. And anyone who owns gold personally is a jail offense. That could happen during wartime if we go to war. Malaysia, Singapore, who knows, right? Because it can be confiscated. And you can't bring gold bar and board a plane and fly off, right? And the custom, you will confiscate all your gold bars already. Right? So, you don't really own the money. It's just a number. Right? Look at Russia. Russia had nuclear weapons, you know. And 300 billion of their foreign reserve was confiscated by US. And now they use it to pay what? Ukraine. So what can Russia do? Launch a nuclear weapon? No, or die. Right? So centralized organization, centralized money is not your money. It's just a number. Today, do you know that even in Singapore, my identity is not mine? It's the government's. Right? Government says who I am. So if I offended the government says that Ben Chan is now a female or is a criminal, banned from exiting Singapore, confiscate a passport. What can I do? Right? It's not your money, it's not your identity, because it's centralized. Someone control it, and that someone you have to trust him. You have to vote for him. Right? So that's why we have decentralization. That's why, but like Rowan said, we are not going to decentralize everything, it's impossible. But to me, decentralization is good as far as I can control certain aspects of my own data, my own identity, and more importantly, my own money. Right? At least during wartime or whatever time I decide I'm going to put my money into Malaysia, I can come to Malaysia. Singapore government say, no, cannot. You can only transfer $10,000 to Malaysia. Then, but I have my Bitcoin, I don't care, I can go anywhere in the world with my thumb drive, my hardware wallet. Nobody knows I have, right? It's in my pocket. It's mine forever. Nobody can take this away from me because it's completely decentralized. So that is what the reason I get to this blockchain, because I believe that's the future. That was 7 years, 2017, right? And it's like during the last few years, we see wars, we see Russia, we see SWIFT weaponized, US weaponized, and everything, and that is becoming real for everybody now, right? And of course, deflation of inflation, right, and deflating of your dollars. Of course, ringgit has dropped, right? US dollar has gone up, and when US dollar go up because of interest rate, and all the currency deflate, not just ringgit, right? You see Japanese dollar, right? 2019, I went to Japan. The exchange rate between Sing dollar and Japan was 1 to 80. Today is 1 to 120. Right? I'm Singaporean, very happy. You buy a lot of Japanese yen and get ready to go shopping. But that's a fact because of the currency manipulation by the governments in the world, especially US based. So without Bitcoin, you can't hedge against all this risk. Now imagine 5 years ago, you convert half of your order, 10% of your assets into Bitcoin. Right? Today, how many times has it increased? If we don't count in the deflation of the ringgit, right? Just look at how much Bitcoin has increased over the last few years. Let's say the last round, the 2017 at the peak, Bitcoin was 20,000 US dollar. Now we are talking about that, right? 2017, when I came into this space, I actually bought Bitcoin at the high of the bull run. I remember it's about 20,000 Sing dollar, not yet US dollar yet. Sing dollar 20,000. Then after that, went down to $3,000. But I just put it there, I don't even care about it. Okay? So actually in 2021, when it was about 3,000-4,000 during COVID, right? So I was looking at it and said, it's time to buy. So I actually talked to my classmate, my old classmate in WhatsApp. I said, anyone with spare cash can put some money into Bitcoin. That was about $3,000-4,000 at that time. And today, how much is Bitcoin? About 70,000. Right? So imagine you put some of your money in Bitcoin, the last bull run, you would have been able to win all the inflation, right? All the devaluation of the currency, and you have earned multiple times more than that. So that's hedging. Hedging a risk. I'm not saying they put all your money into Bitcoin. Only those that you can afford to lose can put them into. It's a kind of a diverse investment. Okay, so now you buy Bitcoin, you buy any cryptocurrency. How are you going to store it? Remember I said that nobody can take away your Bitcoin because it's decentralized, owned by you. It's not put into an account, right? So then what does it mean to own by you owning the Bitcoin? It's this thing called, what we're going to do today, about private keys. Okay, so a bit about centralized security we mentioned just now. Okay. Centralized security, we are all familiar with banks, central government, centralized exchanges, and all these things are centralized, right? And anything that's centralized can be hacked, internally or externally. So we see all these things happening, right? So every time, even today you have like Coinbase. Coinbase, if you read the fine print, it says that your money put in Coinbase is not really yours. You know why? Because if Coinbase ever go into bankruptcy, all the assets is called unsecured assets. Meaning what? That means they will go through the bankruptcy procedure and then they will pay the lawyers, pay this, pay that, everything. After that, whatever is left, okay, now I give back to you. Right? Whatever is left. So you are the owner, you put the money in there and you're the last one to get it and you only get a fraction of what is left. If there's anything left. Right? So that's the centralized system. Okay, so we have all this, even Celsius, I lost some money in Celsius, a few Ethereum in there. I took most of it out, but I still left a few in there and then it imploded. And now it's still stuck in there. I also have some in FTX. FTX is still there. I mean, my money is still there. So hopefully one day I get it back, if I get it back. Okay. So what are the pros and cons? So like what I said, high cost of maintenance, risky, insider hacking, and all these things. But of course, what they give you is convenience, right? Centralized exchange give you convenience. You don't have to worry about anything. You just put your money there, register an account, KYC, and put your money there. Okay. And if you forget your password, what happens? If you have a bank account, you forget your password, you can always go there, show your IC, and reset the password, right? So it's very easy. So we are so used to this kind of system. It's called centralized system. It's good and bad. It's convenient for average users like us. Okay, but the bad is that you don't really control it, you don't really own it. Okay. But what is decentralized security? Back to what we were talking about just now. Okay, now I own Bitcoin. What does it mean that I own my Bitcoin? Okay, it has to do with this concept called a private key. Private key is like a long password. You know, when you go to the bank, you have a user ID and password, right? But in private key, it's like a long string of password, 256 bits password. Nobody can possibly remember that, right? But that password is the key to prove that you own this asset. Because in blockchain, all the crypto, all your Bitcoin, Ethereum, they are stored on the blockchain, the public blockchain. It's a public ledger. Think of it like a cloud service, right? All your assets is there. Let's say, for example, this 10 Bitcoin belongs to this XYZ private key. Okay, but who is this XYZ? Nobody knows. Right? It's not linked to any particular person. Understand? So it's linked to whoever actually owns the private key. So if I own this private key, I can prove through this encryption, decryption, public key infrastructure, PKI, that I can prove that, okay, I own this public address. Okay, so using my key. So it's a very, it's encryption technology that is about 30 years old. It's not something new. We have been using that for all our lives without knowing it. So when you go to a website, you go to a bank website, you look at the web link is HTTPS, right? not HTTP. S means secure. That means they actually use this PKI technology to secure the whole channel. So they are using private key, okay, symmetrical private key. So Bitcoin, we are using asymmetric private key. So you don't have to understand the details of that. Just know that there's a public and private key pair. So this public address in the blockchain is matched to this private key, this password that I own, right? So if this public key, I can prove mathematically that I own this public address. Therefore, the Bitcoin linked to this public address is mine. Nobody can move it. So whoever wants to move this public address, this Bitcoin that links to this public address, has to use this private key to do a mathematical proof. Obviously, if I don't have the private key, I can't do that, right? And also, if Dylan stole my private key without me knowing it, he can pretend to be me. The system won't know, because it's not linked to any particular person. It's just whoever owns the private key owns the asset. Get it now, right? So that's the basic concept behind this. So it comes down to how you protect your private key and how you back it up if you lose it and so on, right? So the private key belongs to you. Okay, only you have access to the private key. But if you lose it, it's gone forever. Nobody can recover it for you. Okay, you go to the bank, you forget your password, it can reset it, right? But you lose your private key, there's nobody to go to. Who do I go to? There's no one in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not a person, not an organization. It's just a cloud system that is running automatically. There's no human being there. Yeah, which is also brings to another point, right? The company that become 1 trillion valuation. Okay, there are only a few companies that is like Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, Google, right? They are $1 trillion valuation. Okay, all of them took more than 10 years, 20 years, 30 years to become a $1 trillion company, right? So there are only a few of these trillion companies around in the whole world. There's one company that became a $1 trillion valuation in less than 10 years. And that company is called Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has no CEO, there's no COO, there's no marketing budget, there's no single human being behind it. And it became a $1 trillion valuation in less than 10 years, the fastest in the world history. Okay, now what do I talk about that? I can't remember. Okay, so back to this. So your private key, okay, proves that you own the assets. If you lose it, it's gone. So if you look at some of those, this guy, some horror stories. Why we call horror stories? This guy, both of them are British. I don't know why all British. British is very rich. This guy has 200 million pounds worth of Bitcoin in his hardware wallet. There is a device that contains his private key, okay, and with a password that protects it. So he put his private key in the hardware wallet, okay, and has a password to protect it. And the hardware wallet normally works in that way that you have 10 chances to try your password. Okay, if you have tried 10 times consecutively and it's all wrong, the whole hardware wallet becomes a brick. They lock it to protect the user. For example, if I lose the hardware, someone steals my hardware wallet, he keeps trying 10 times, it's locked already. So he cannot get access to the Bitcoin, right? Unfortunately, this guy forgot his password. He wrote it somewhere on a piece of paper and cannot find it anymore. He tried 8 times already, all failed. So he's sweating. 2 more chances and I lose 200 million pounds of Bitcoin. And that was many years ago, no? That was 2021. Today, it's not just 200 million pounds. 2021 was 20, how much? Around 30, 40,000. Today, double that already. So only 400 million pounds. And he's still there, he's still sweating. After so many years, still sweating. Okay, another UK guy also put his Bitcoin, this private key into a hard drive. Okay, in a hard drive. These are all developers, programmers, so they know how to keep the thing. They put in a hard drive and store the hard drive offline. Then he bought a new hard drive. He put his the key on the new hard drive, right? And he threw away the old one. Unfortunately, he threw the wrong one away. He threw the new one, and a few months later, he discovered that and panicked and went to search in the rubbish dump in UK, London, and he cannot find it, of course. So he offered 20 million pounds for anyone who can find this for him. Nobody take up the job. You know how big the rubbish dump is. How I'm going to buy a hard drive in this whole thing, right? So those are the horror stories, and it happens. So it proves that your private key is yours if you protect it, but if you lose it, that's it. Okay, pros and cons. So I say, with great power comes great responsibility, right? So you own your key, yes, no, the government cannot touch yours, but if you lose it, nobody can help you also. So that's why the importance of protecting your private key is crucial if you want to survive the generate in the future where you really want to own your assets, your data, and your identity and so on. So how typically people does that is what we call a seed phrase. Right? Seed phrase is a way to back up your private key. So Bitcoin, they came out with a way of helping people remember, because the private key is very long, right? 256 digit. You cannot possibly remember this password. Nobody can, I can't. So what they do is they come up with a dictionary of English words or Chinese words, okay, very simple English words and Chinese words. They can convert your private key into these 12 or 24 English words, and that's called the seed phrase or the recovery phrase. So ideally, those phrases are easy to remember, so that all these different 12 English words, right? And what you do is that you need to copy down these 12 words on a piece of paper. So you can key these words into the wallet to recover your private key if you ever forgot your private key. Or for example, your computer was destroyed, right? And then you have no more private key. But you take out a piece of paper, you download another software wallet, you key in these 12 words in the same sequence, you get back your private key. You get back your Bitcoin. Okay. So these 12 private keys words, seed phrases are very easy to remember. So, but you must write down a piece of paper. Okay. A few things you should not do. You should not take a picture of it. Most people are very lazy, right? I cannot remember these 12 words in the exact same sequence, the exact same spellings. So I just take a picture, done, correct? Is it safe? Why not? A picture.
Access the picture and steal it.
Yes. The moment you take a picture, it exists in a copy of that exists in the cloud. For example, iPhone, Google. You don't know, they back it up for you automatically, so nice. So that means you are exposing your seed phrase to the rest of the world. The hacker can easily hack it. At least Google has it, right? At least Apple has it. Okay. So there's this funny incident that happened 2 years ago. I read on the news. I came across this news. In the US, you have a lot of high-speed chase, right, between the police and the criminals. So this typical high-speed chase happened, and it was reported by the media. And this criminal was apprehended. So the police went there, get this guy out, handcuff him, right? And then the other police searched the car. They found a lot of things, and they found this piece of paper with 24 English words on it. And then police have a dash cam, what do you call that? Camera on their shoulder, right? So this police look at it. What is this? They show the other police. The other police take a look at it. Seed phrase, Of course, if we use English like in American. So this is a seed phrase. What is a seed phrase? In front of the camera. So whoever watch this video, if your hand is fast enough, quickly screenshot and key the 12 words. You got the Bitcoin. Probably quite a lot, right? Because it's a criminal, right? So whoever hands fast enough. So actually, the US government has confiscated the most number of Bitcoin in the world among all the countries. Right? A few 100,000 Bitcoins in their coffer. All this from this confiscation and all this crime, so they got it, and they are selling it off. Right? Recently, last few days, German government also sell off a lot of Bitcoin, right? Because they confiscated this, they need money, I guess, they just stop it. Right? That's why it caused the Bitcoin crash last few days. Okay, so that is something we watch, and there's what seed phrase. So first thing, don't write down a piece of paper. Don't take a shot of it. Don't write it key to your computer, which I do, because it's just so much more convenient. But you make sure that you store it in the offline. Okay, store it in a thumb drive. Left it online. Don't put it into your computer that's online 24/7. You never know where a Trojan horse or something may come in and scan your hard drive or all this. Now the hackers are very smart. They scan for seed phrase. And any seed phrase they collect, they just create a list of wallets. Okay, and they use the robots to scan through it every few minutes. Basically, they have your wallet, right? And then they scan through. The moment you put money in there, they take it away. Right? So that's the thing. So can you imagine how frustrating it is to manage this seed phrase? And sometimes people copy wrongly, right? So if you copy wrongly and you try to recover your private key, you find that they say that it's wrong, error, you have have no idea which word is wrong. Right? Because the possible why? Because his seed phrase was leaked somehow. Somebody get a hold of his seed phrase and took 42 million happily away from his wallet. And also hackers stole $10 million worth of Ethereum. These are all OG accounts. You know what is OG? Old guard. These people who have been in this space for many years. And yet their wallet got drained away because the seed phrase was somehow compromised. Okay. So this is the problem with seed phrase. So a little bit of advertising. Because I'm from UKISS, we developed this hardware wallet. Okay, we call it a cold wallet or hardware wallet. It is the first hardware wallet in the world to allow you to protect your private key without the need for seed phrase. So making it easier, hopefully, to make it easier and more accessible to everybody. So just the two hardware, it will contain your private key offline, and then you don't need seed phrase. You automatically back up each other. So if anything happens to your wallet, this one, you have this one to back it up. Right? And if you lose, you forgot the password after 10 tries, it's locked, you can take this one out and reset it. Very easy. Right? So there's no screen, no button, so it's very easy to use, very easy to proof. Okay, so this is the hardware wallet, cold wallet. So it comes in the two keys, okay, rescue key and the authentication key. USB device, so you just plug into your phone, your computer, and you use it. That's it. Very simple. Okay. And of course, during wartime or any time that you want to migrate or whatever, you just take your hardware wallet, put it in your luggage, and go. Okay. It's accessible 24/7 anywhere in the world. It's not like your bank account, you transfer money to one country to another. Sometimes you cannot do it, and it takes days to do that. Okay, so this is, I will talk more about it, but if you're interested, we can discuss it later on. Okay, so comparing wallets, what is wallet? Wallet is what you use, it's like all of us have wallet, right? We keep our cash, our credit card, our bank card, all that, right? So wallet, in this case, is like a digital version of the wallet. Okay, it keeps your private key. It doesn't keep your cash, it keeps your private key. So it's how you protect your private key, essentially. Okay, so there are two ways to do that. One is the software version, one is the hardware version. Okay, software version means that it's free. First of all, it's free. Most software wallets are free. You just download an application or an app on your phone, okay, and you create a wallet address, and they give you the 12 words, you copy down the 12 words on a piece of paper, and you're set. Okay, so if you want to go to another computer and reinstall this wallet, you just download the same software or any other software wallets, you key in the 12 words, then you have your private key there already. Your same wallet is already in the new computer or phone. Okay, so that's software wallets. Hardware wallet is what I said just now. Hardware wallet is a hardware device where your private key is stored on the hardware, and typically hardware are offline, right? Because I don't plug my hardware into my computer or my phone, it's offline, right? When if something is offline, can hacker hack it? Cannot, right? Hacker can only hack something that's online. Okay? If the hacker want to hack your hardware wallet, they have to come to your house, physically steal your hardware device from you. And that's how they can steal it. So it's going to be very hard, right? Because they don't know where you live. Okay? Unless accidentally someone go to your house and see this hardware wallet lying on the table, so, hardware wallet. Right? So typically that will happen, the hacker won't do that. Hacker will always do something that has high reward but small cost. So what is high reward and small cost? Your seed phrase. Right? It's so much easier to hack seed phrase because a lot of seed phrase floating in the iCloud, Google Drive, anywhere, right? So they'll scan through all the cloud services, all the things that are out there, and look for something that looks like seed phrase, and they just copy and build a wallet, okay, based on wallet, and then just scan through every 2 minutes. That's how they do it. Okay, so the difference between software wallet and hardware wallet, software wallet is easier, it's free, first of all, and it's in a way easier to use because you don't have to mess around with hardware devices and all that. It's just on the phone, it's just an app, right? Okay, but the problem is that it is not so safe because your private key is literally stored on your phone or on your computer. And the moment your phone and computer is online, your private key is online. That means hacker can take their time and try to hack it, right? So that is the problem. It's more risky. That's why a lot of software wallets, they got drained. It means they got hacked all the time. Okay, there's so many horror stories about it. Okay, hardware wallet is safer definitely because you store your private key on the hardware device offline, so hacker has no way to access it. Right? Even if they hack your password, but they don't have access to the hard drive, the hardware device, also no use. Right? So it's definitely much safer. But the problem is the hardware device, you have to pay for it typically. Right? There's extra cost, $100, $200. Okay, and also a little bit more inconvenient because anytime you want to prove or transact, you want to send your Bitcoin to someone, okay, you have to find a hardware device and plug it in. Okay, and then sign the transaction, and then you can send the Bitcoin off to someone. So it's more inconvenient. So you have to choose. It continues to. So typically for a newcomer, comer into this space, they will start with a free software wallet. Try a bit, earn some experience, and maybe buy some points. If your asset is, let's say, less than 5,000 US dollar, okay, you may not want to think about hardware wallet. But if you more than that, it's actually worth it to invest into hardware wallet. Okay, let's say $200 to protect $5,000. It makes sense. Okay, $200 to protect $100 doesn't make sense, right? Okay, so these are the two typical way of storing hardware. We call that also hot wallet and cold wallet. Hot and cold. Hot because it's online 24/7, which is why it's also risky, right? But more convenient. Anytime you want to transact, just on your phone. That's it. Okay, so this is the basic of what private key management is all about. Any question at this point regarding private key, hardware wallet, cold wallet, and so on? Any questions?
So for the cold hardware, once you lost it, you lost forever, right?
Okay, the hardware wallet, right? That depends on the hardware wallet. Okay, so for typical hardware wallet, there are only one device. There only one hardware device. Okay, you put it there, but they also have the seed phrase. They still use seed phrase. Okay, hardware wallet also use seed phrase. So in case your hardware got destroyed, you lose it, or you throw it into water, throw it into fire, then it's lost, right? Then what you do is that just like software wallet, you take out your seed phrase, the piece of paper, then you key in, so you recover your private key. That's a typical way. Or you buy another hardware wallet, then you key in the seed phrase into the hardware wallet, you have the thing again. Okay, but of course, it means also that even if your hardware wallet is very secure and it's still in your pocket, if you're safe, nobody touch your hardware wallet. But if someone can access your seed phrase, can still take your Bitcoin away, right? Because they have the seed phrase, it's as good as they have the hardware wallet. Right? So it also boils down to how you can manage your seed phrase. Which is why UKISS, we came out with the device that there's no seed phrase. So you have two hardware wallets, that means you have only 2 copies of the private key in the whole world. Right? So provided you keep these 2 safe, at least one of them safe. So if you feel that it's not safe, you buy a few more, you duplicate yourself. So you have a few copies of the device, one in Malaysia, one in Cochin, one in Singapore. So if one country got bombed, you still have 2 copies of it somewhere around, right? So you have backup of that. So that's how we differentiate from other hardware wallets.
So you can have multiple hardware.
Yes, you can buy more and just duplicate yourself. Just one click button, that's it. You duplicate already.
So the old one, if let's say the old one I'm going to use that, maybe in the future no USB really, or no Type C really. So we need to change it, the old one, what will happen?
The old one can still work as long as there's a USB but the new version in the future, if there's no more USB, of course we have different newer version like NFC or Bluetooth or this. Yeah, it's still backward compatible.
So what the old device can be destroyed. So
Yeah, if you can destroy it, don't give it to someone. Just destroy it.
Destroy it and it can be transferred to the new one, right?
Yeah. Hardware to hardware transfer. You can do that. Through our app, secure app.
So I was actually just ask that. So essentially, since you're not platform dependent, right? You're not using a centralized platform. This key is used. You have your own custom app for this.
Yes.
Insert it, then from there you can access your.
Yes. So the app is only the front end, the UI part. The private key is always stored in the hardware device. It doesn't come out of the hardware device. That's why it's safer, right? So any transaction that need to happen, the transaction goes into the device, sign, verify and sign, and the result comes out. The private key never come out of the device. It always stay in the hardware. That's why it's safer. Hacker also cannot hack. Any other questions? Okay. So now we have covered the basic of private key management and all that. Okay. So let's look at what are the future is. So types of we call sovereign identity and sovereign digital assets. It comes back to the ownership. Do you really own your identity? Do you really own your data? Do you really own your digital assets? Okay, so in the future, there will be a lot of this already. Okay, we call it self-sovereign digital assets. Ownership of all your information, like your identity, okay, and the critical assets, of course. Okay, all based on your private key ownership. Okay, so with that, we want to protect your private key from phishing attack, drainer, all this. Right? So these are some of the tools that we use. For example, in terms of wallets, now there are wallets like Ravi wallets, MetaMask wallets. These are software wallets, by the way. Okay, so what they do is that whenever you click on in Web3, when you click on a website, you want to do some transactions. Some of these websites are phishing links, phishing sites. That means they look like the real one, but they are not. Okay, so if you accidentally click on those and you link your wallet to it and then you transact, of course, it's gone. Okay, they're going to drain your wallet away. So be very careful which website you click on in Web3. Okay, so typically what a lot of people do when it comes to their new Web3, they heard about certain coins or certain projects, they want to look for it. So they will do Google search, right? And you know, if you do Google search, the first 2 pages are typically all scams, phishing links. Because phishing links, they can afford to pay, advertise, and they move their ranking up so that it will appear the first, second page. So likely the first 2 pages that the link to click on are phishing links. Okay, so I never use Google to search for any crypto projects or investments or coins, right? Second way is they go to the Twitter. If you know the Twitter of this project, the XYZ project, you go to the Twitter and then you go there. It's real, right? Because it's verified, the blue tick and everything. The project then, they have their own website link and all those are real. But a lot of people also suffer, I almost suffered a few times phishing link. You know why? Because in the Twitter, once they have the official post, right? And there's a lot of comments, right? And the first few comments look exactly like the account with the same tick, the same logo, maybe the name, just one character difference. If you don't look carefully, you might think it's the same one. Oh, this owner posts another comment to his own, right? And this is the latest link for our airdrop. Please click here to enjoy. They're so happy. Click on it. Oh, phishing link. So it happens all the time. I almost drained a couple of times. But ask me, I did it because I look at the website. The one character different. You know, A with a dot, 2 dots in front of it. So very risky. So typically that is not the way to do it. So we are coming out with a website later on this month. Okay, end of July actually. We're going to launch a website. This website will contain all the typical Web3 links. Okay, projects or crypto projects that you are the latest and all people need it. We verify the links and we put that into this website so that you guys anyone can come in and use these links and guarantee these are valid links, not phishing sites. Okay, this will be launched at the end of July. And good news is that we're going to incentivize, give you points for doing so. So you come in every day, you click on the links, then you get points. And this point will be converted into airdrops of our tokens when we launch it Q4, end of the year. Okay, so you are rewarded for having a safe browsing experience. Okay, so that is something we are doing for this project called Real Protocol later on. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of my sharing. So if you are interested, you can find out more about our company here. So now we have time for Q&A. You can tell that this topic is too heavy. Everybody stunned. Drained already. Okay, any topic at all we want to discuss also can play in this week's. Anyone has already invested in crypto? I don't think that, right? Anyone else? Must have. Invested in crypto, any crypto so far, Bitcoin, Ethereum, indirectly. Okay, the rest? Haven't done? That's okay. Okay. How many have experience with Web3? That means really not centralized or decentralized, like DeFi or any of those Web3. So you can see from here, you have a 5 people. So the proportion is still very small, right? Okay, so that means this industry is very young, very new. It means opportunity. Right, today you look at Bitcoin is around 62,000 already. We almost broke new high like a couple of months ago. But the industry is still very small. Okay, 90%, I would say 90% of the whole world, there are 5 billion internet users right now in the world. I think 90% of them are still not in this space. For those that are already in, most of them are not already in Web3. I call Web 2.5. What do you mean by Web 2.5? It means they go to centralized exchanges, they register an account, they buy some Bitcoin, buy some Ethereum, and leave it there at a centralized exchange, and that's it. That's Web 2.5. Yes, you bought some Bitcoin, but what is Web 3? You haven't touched it, like DeFi, right? All these things, NFT, none of these probably they have experience. So again, this industry is still very, very young and very, very small. Even though Bitcoin has been around for more than 15 years, it's still in the beginning. But now with ETF, right, with the US ETF approved, and a lot of countries are rushing to approve their Bitcoin spot ETF, Ethereum spot ETF. Hong Kong has done it, and of course US is the biggest. So Bitcoin ETF has broken the record in the history of ETF. Right? For the last 30 years, Bitcoin ETF is the fastest growth of all ETF in the world, in US history. But even then, until now, the data shows that most investors in this ETF are individuals. 90%, 80% are individuals. The big enterprises has not come in yet. Like Merrill Lynch, all these wirehouses, they are still evaluating. They haven't really launched out. Once they launch, these wirehouses, they are going to go to all their high net worth value individuals and enterprises, right? And they're going to sell this ETF to them, right? And when that happens, you can imagine the amount of demand on Bitcoin. And once Bitcoin goes up, the rest of the alternate coins and everything will also go up. So that's why I say it's still early. So we expect that the ETF, because it was approved in January, now it's June, half a year. Typically, warehouses or this institution takes half a year to do due diligence. Right? Some of them still don't believe in it, of course, so it will take years. But it shows that the future is there.
I think generally here, right, you can't go around and say you accept Bitcoin. People will just look at you and say no.
No, I don't think actually Bitcoin, the term cryptocurrency is a misnomer. It shouldn't be called currency. It was intended to be a currency when it was invented, but today no serious enterprise will view cryptocurrency as a currency. Okay? It's more of a store of value. Okay? And most cryptocurrency is also used as a utility token in their community or in their platform. Like Ethereum is used for gas fee and for transaction, for payment and services within the economy, the crypto economy. It's not used in the physical world like pay for coffee. Unlikely it's going to happen. The best thing that can happen is maybe CBDC or stable coins. That's the extent, because when I buy coffee, and that's the reason why of the question someone asked us now, why do I need cryptocurrency, right? Well, I'm not going to use Bitcoin to pay for my coffee. I'm going to use ringgit, I'm going to use Sing dollar. At most I use CBDC. In China already launched CBDC. Okay, I can use eCNY in China instead of the Alipay or WeChat Pay. I can use eCNY to pay for a daily, but it didn't take off. So far, it didn't really take off. Government give a lot of incentives, give freebies and that. People take the freebies, spend it, and that's it. Singapore government also did that. We had this purpose-bound money, right? By MAS, Singapore Monetary Authority of Singapore. They do that. So in one of the fintech festival last year, they give out free money. We got back the $20 sing of this e-money. But you can only spend it in that shop and that shop. So we quickly spend it and pay for sushi. And then we eat it. So it's purpose-bound money. Okay. It's still tied to Sing dollar. It's not another cryptocurrency. Right? So I don't think cryptocurrency, as it is now, is going to ever become a real currency. And that's not the purpose of it anymore. It is used to incentivize a community. Like I said, all of us, we launch a cryptocurrency for ourselves, right? So we agree that, okay, we're going to use this for transaction between us, for example. So that will be our token. And we all identify with this token, we value it, and it's our baby, and we promote it, and we create a lot of applications in this community, all paid by this currency. Yes, we need to do it. But not in the external, physical environment. Unlikely to happen. Like even Bitcoin today is becoming a store of value, it's a digital gold. And why is it a digital gold? Because it is better version of gold. Do you know that gold is not limited? It's scarce but not limited. Right? Diamond is not limited. It's scarce but not limited. And gold today is scarce artificially. Because there are a lot of gold mines lying around, just that I don't want to mine it. And the funny thing about gold is that the moment the price goes up, what happens? People mine more, right? Now the gold is $2,000. I have this gold mine waiting, so I mine more so I can sell, then I earn more, right? So gold supply actually goes up as the money goes up, the price goes up, the gold supply goes up. Okay, but Bitcoin cannot. Bitcoin now is already 20 million times more than what it was 12 years ago. Like, or 15 or 40 years ago when it first started. The first one.
But you will see like, oh yeah, I accept Bitcoin, I accept cryptocurrencies as payment. So, like even a currency that I developed called Euro, you can actually use it through a site called Travala. You can book hotels and flights all around the world. So, although there's a conversion happening in the background, does this make it not a usable currency? It is still usable. There's some back end that's converting it into ringgit or US dollar and whatnot, but it still doesn't eliminate that sort of transaction type of thing.
Yeah. So can I just help people understand that?
Right.
It's a bit like credit card points or travel
Correct.
airline points. You
Yes.
can still use for certain things or the Petronas or something along those lines, right? You can still exchange.
The thing is that the infrastructure for conversion from cryptocurrencies to ringgit or US dollar is becoming better and better, especially now there's regulated places to do this, right? So you just need to connect the back end. That means you put the price up, it's converted into whatever cryptocurrency, but you are paying the fiat value of it. It's just they have to integrate it, then you can use it for payments already. Yeah. That's the main thing. Like in Singapore, Grab already you can pay. Does it mean it's not a currency? Of course, it depends.
Even PayPal accepts cryptocurrency as payment already for all its merchants in the world. So it is gaining momentum definitely. Even our own website, we also accept Bitcoin, USDT payments for our hardware wallets. We also do that. So I think, especially with like Lightning Network and all this second layer, layer 3 coming on, so a lot of the problems associated with cryptocurrency being slow and being costly are being solved. So yeah, in the future we might see certain adoption of cryptocurrency as a currency. Yeah. But it will never replace fiat currency. I mean the government won't allow it. So ultimately, you still need to convert back to fiat currency because we still have to pay fiat currency for our bills, right? So that's why we need the conversion to fiat currency. No choice because we live in the physical world controlled by the government.
Some of the places, like especially like in Turkey, Venezuela, I mean like, okay, obviously Venezuela is a crack country and whatnot.
Hyperinflation.
Hyperinflation. Even Turkey is like 70% inflation per year on year. So for the people who are there, you know, cryptocurrency is more real than their national currency because
It's the life saver. That's why the moment they get their salary, they straight away convert to Bitcoin. They don't want their currency because hyperinflation.
Personally, that's I think one of the strongest cases for things like this crypto. Because there may be a big financial shake-up sooner or later. At least you got some of your assets in this other form.
Alright. Is there any more question? If you have any more questions later, you can personally approach our speakers and then discuss your opinions or share your thoughts on blockchain and other Web3 related things. Thank you to our speakers, Ruben and Ben. Please give them a big applause as they did already. It's a very insightful training on blockchain, on Bitcoin, on centralized security and digital wallet. I hope you guys have gained a very, very relevant knowledge from our expertise here. On behalf of Gem Consultancy, I thank you to Metadize for this collaboration on high technology. We do need this kind of expertise in Sarawak. If you think about Web3, think about Metadize. Also visit the racing simulation at level 2. I heard from the assistant just now they have Assetto Corsa as one of the game. So please experience. We need to have work-life balance as well, isn't it? And also I thank you guys, the participants, for spending your valuable time. Right now my team is handing you a brochure on advanced blockchain course, which you will have more input on the practical cases, such for example in supply chain or ID verification. I believe this is very important in the future. Before we conclude this session, we have 2 more agendas. So the first one is evaluation, which my team also already passed through. Please, if you have any honest feedbacks on our speakers, we need honest feedback so we can improve better in the future. And then do tell us what you like to learn more on Web3. And then do tell us also what do you love about the training. If you like the speakers, tell us about it so we can invite them more, yeah? And the second and last agenda after this is a group photo. So please stay for a while and we will have a quick group photo and video to make this session a memory. It is not every day we will have a gathering like this, alright? I will let you guys in peace for a while focusing on the e-evaluation.